Okay. I wanted to do an IGTV video too about these two types of decision makers. Hopefully you saw my post and read it on Instagram or Facebook. So this I'm just going to kind of elaborate and just share more about what I think about those two things. Because I've been thinking about it now that I typed that post. So you hopefully read it. If you didn't, basically I shared from an article that I read earlier today. And it was in one of my Audible books too, so it kind of came up twice in this last week. So I'm like, this is something to talk about. It basically talked about the two types of decision makers there are. One is the gunslinger, and the gunslinger is somebody who does not take a lot of time to make their decision. Like, they get the information from both sides and they decide. Like, there's not really much thought. I don't want to say there's not a lot of thought behind it, but they don't allow themselves to overthink it, and they choose. And gunslingers tend to believe that there is no wrong decision. And that also came up in a book that I was reading about fear and how people that seem to live these fearless, free lives, it's not that they're not scared, it's just that they really believe that there's no wrong decision that you can possibly make. Like, whatever you decide is what you decide, and that is going to bring things into your life that will be helpful and beneficial for you no matter what. Whether it's, a lesson you're going to learn or a new experience, you're going to enhance your life in some way, but you have to decide for that to happen. So then gunslingers, they don't overthink things. They go with their gut feeling. They really just, take the information, digest it, and boom, they've got their decision. They've made the decision. And they also tend to, they don't really dwell, which is the other type. They don't dwell on if they're making the best decision. They very well know that there might be a better decision, but they don't dwell on that, and they just decide no matter what, and then they're moving forward towards whatever they're going after. And then the other type is the dweller. And the dweller is somebody who overthinks every decision, and they get stuck. They say they're stuck because they haven't decided, and they don't really know how to get out of that either, which is very frustrating, and it leads to lots of negative self-talk, and you get really down on yourself because you don't understand why why you're feeling stuck and why you're not moving forward. Well, it's because you haven't decided. And one of my favorite quotes, and I've posted a lot on my pages, is hesitation is the kiss of death. Like, the moment you start hesitating on a decision, your brain goes straight into protection mode. Like, it starts to visualize all the what if scenarios, and mostly it goes to the negative. Like, well, what if this happens, and then you're stuck doing this, and then this and this, and you just go down the rabbit hole into your imagination. And that's all fear is. Fear is just your imagination running wild. And for some reason, it's really easy for our imaginations to run wild towards the fear side, and it's very difficult for our imaginations to run wild towards the exciting, awesome, wide open possibilities that could happen if you make a decision. So that's just part of our nature. Our brain is doing that. It's a mechanism to protect ourselves and to keep us in our comfort zones, because that's what we know and that's what feels safe. And it's scary when you're doing things that are not known. So anyway, there's the dwellers and the gunslingers. And I was thinking about which one I definitely feel like I am. I feel like I'm for sure a gunslinger the majority of the time. But there are definitely things in my life where I am a dweller too. And I was really, really reflecting, like, okay, what areas of my life do I dwell on things and I don't take action? And then what areas am I just like a total gunslinger and I'm like, yep, gonna do that. Yep, gonna do that. And then what's the difference? Like, why do I dwell on these things and I gunsling on these things? So I'm just kind of sitting and thinking about that myself, and thought I'd share with you guys because it really creates some good reflection for you. At least I'm having some good insights. And Yeah, and I think it's awareness, like just being aware of when you're presented with a decision. Like, do you find yourself dwelling and overanalyzing and finding yourself in these what if scenarios? Or do you find yourself making quick decisions and just going with your gut? So anyway, I would love to hear your guys' comments. Feel free to comment, message me, share your thoughts. I would love to know, what areas of your life are you a gunslinger and what areas of your life are you a dweller? Please share with me. I want to hear. And hopefully this is helpful for you and it gives you something to think about. All right, have a good day, guys. Bye.